Hello, we're going to look at how to bring XY data into ArcMap and plot it. Now, first off, we have to decide what we would like to have as our information we're going to plot, which is going to be information on a hurricane. We're going to use Hurricane Florence, so I'm picking that. But I also need to do is open up my ArcMap, so I have something to plot it onto. So here's my ArcGIS, ArcMap 10.51, and while it's opening up, I'm going to show you how to go ahead and use this information and plot it as, well, where did the hurricane go to? So I have all this wonderful data. You can see that there's quite a few points that are plotted for Hurricane Florence, and it has advisory numbers of 11A. We're going to have to clean up some of our data. So what I'm going to do first is bring this in as CSV data. So it is all comma separated. I'm going to come down over here and pick everything. And now I'm going to go to CTRL C, copying it. I already have a copy of Notepad open. I'm going to bring it in. So now I have all my data, and I have the headings on the row at the top. What I should be able to do is come down over here and copy all my information. I'm going to go is edit and copy all that. Now I can use that in Microsoft Excel to bring the information in. What I'm going to do is use the text import wizard. It is going to be delimited. So I'm going to have it is actually delimited as a comma, so I'm going to click next. But it is over here looking at it as if it were delimited by a space, which is not correct. So I'm going to do it with commas, and now it's fixed things up. It's put things in the right order. So I'm now going to do is come down here next, is that this is general. I want to make this one actually a text, so that I have my information being brought in the first row as being text. Next one is a date, so I'm going to bring that one as a date. Then all the rest of these are going to be brought in as numbers. Actually, these columns over here I'm not going to need, but we'll show you how to get rid of those later on. So I have here's is text, month, date, and year, and then all these as numbers. I'm going to go click finish. So I'm going to do, because what I need to do over here is this is going to be my raw data, and what I'm going to do is bring another one in as this is the one I'm going to plot. So I'm going to take my raw data, I'm going to copy all this, come over here to my plot, and paste it in. Now, what I have is a bunch of stuff over here that I'm not going to need. So here's my date and time. I'm going to leave that in case I want to use it later on. But I have my wind speed, which I'm going to use. I do not need to have my pressure, movement, forecast, and all this good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those. Next one I'm going to do is that these are not numbered like I would like them to be, because I have 1A, 2A, and I have some that are just numbered consecutively. So I'm going to do is select the whole row here. Sorry, this whole column. I'm going to get rid of those. Come back up here to the top. I start to number them. Now I can take this and drag down the little edge. So now I have them all numbered consecutively without the A after some of them. So now I have them as 82, 83, 84, 85, all as numbers. Now the other thing that I'm going to do over here is I have longitude. Now, in order to stick with the conventions, is that my longitude to plot properly will have to be a negative. So I'm going to have to manipulate this data over here. So I'm going to insert another column. This one is going to be longitude. And it's going to be the negative of that. I'm going to copy that, come all the way down to the bottom of my table, and I'm going to do is paste all that in. But my problem is I now have it as a formula. I don't want to have it as a formula, so I'm going to do is take this, and again is going to copy it, and then I'm going to come over here and paste it. I have a paste option, and I want to do is just paste it as a value. So now all my numbers over here have come in instead of being as a formula. As you can see up over here, they're all not brought in as values. So now my whole table over here is pretty much in the shape that I should be able to bring it into ArcMap. Bring over here to my ArcMap, and what I'm going to want to do is I want a new map. So one of the first things I have to do with ArcMap is, well, what's the base map I'm going to use? So I'm going to come in and excuse me, bring in data from GIS Online, and this one's going to be ocean base map and mature support. And if I hit enter now, I do have, here's my ocean base map. I'm going to click add. And there is the map I'm going to use to plot my hurricanes on. What I want to point out to you is if I come down over here to properties, that I'm going to look at my source data, and it is being brought in. The coordinate system is WGS 1984 Web Mercator Auxiliary Sphere. So that will become important a little bit later. I'll show you why. But right now what I want to do is I'm going to highlight the area that I'm more concerned about, because Hurricane Florence that we're going to plot came up over this way. So I'm going to zoom in on that area. And there I have it. So now what I want to do is I have this, and I'm going to file, and I'm going to save this as under download is let's call it Florence XY data, and I don't want it as Excel workbook. I want to have it as a CSV file to be able to be brought into ArcMap without problems. So now I'm going to click OK, and there's my source data. This is just telling me that it is changing it from a Excel workbook to a CSV file. So I'm going to click OK. Yes, I know now I have my data that I can bring in. This is stored under downloads. You're going to have to make sure that wherever you put your data at, that ArcMap is going to be able to recognize it and bring it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to File, and what I want to do is bring it in as XY data. So over here I have my XY data. I'm going to add data. Come down to here to add XY data. And now it's looking for, well, where is my information? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it that I want, oh, I don't have anything over there. I have to scan for it. So here I have it. I already had picked out where I have my downloads. This one's going to be Florence XY data. So right over here is the table I want to bring in. I'm going to add it. And now you see that I have my X field as longitude. But this is not the correct one because I actually have my data plotted correctly with a negative in front of it as longitude here. I have my latitude, and here's my coordinate system. And if I click everything here, it should be okay. It's telling me it doesn't have a object ID field, which is all right. And I brought it in, and actually I'm going to zoom to my layer, and you see I do have it brought in, but where the heck is it at? So what actually happened is if I zoom out to my full extent, you see it's over here off the coast of Africa. So what the heck happened? Well, what happened is this, is that if I come over here and I click or do a right click, look at my properties. Once it brings it up, you'll see that what the problem is that here's my source data. If I come down over here, my linear unit for the coordinate system I brought it in with is in meters. So I took all of my latitude and longitude data and said, hey, this is just in meters. I don't want it in meters. I want to actually have it in the latitude and longitude. So I'm going to cancel this. So this was a problem. I picked the wrong coordinate system. So I'm going to remove this, go back to my map, pick my area again, zoom in on it, and hopefully this time around I'll make a smarter choice. I'll be able to actually see where the hurricane went to. So again, I'm going to File, and I want to add my data. I want to be adding XY data. I'm coming over here again to pick my Florence XY data, and I'm going to add it. Now again, is that this has got to be longitude, and down over here it's still giving me this coordinate system. I don't want that, so I'm going to come over here and change it. What I have the ability to do is come up over here as Geographic Coordinate Systems, and what I want to do on this one is pick the right one. So I'm going to minimize that one, come over here to the world, and now I have WGS 1984, and down over here is going to allow me to bring it in as latitude and longitude rather than in meters. So I'm going to click OK. Now I have the right coordinate system that I want to have the hurricane displayed in, so that it is showing it in latitude, longitude, not meters. I do have, here's my longitude for my X field, my latitude is going to be the Y field, and I don't have anything showing up and down, which is the Z field. Now I should have everything okay. I click all right. And again, it's giving me the same warning. I don't have an ID field. That's all right. And lo and behold, there is my data actually plotted in the correct spot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over here. This is not very interesting with just it all showing in purple. I'm going to show you one more item on this video. I'm going to come over here, come over to my properties. If you'll remember that I also had the wind speed, so I'm taking my wind speed here. In a moment, I'm going to have it plotted in different colors for the different wind speeds. So I'm going to have it in quantities, and I have my color ramp, but I want to look at a value that I want to plot it in. So I want to have my wind speed. And there it says, okay, I've divided up into 5 natural breaks, which we can adjust later if we want to, but right over here, it's going to allow me to bring that in as different colors for different wind speeds. So I'm just happy with the way this is right now. If I click apply, that what it should do is now all my plotted data is colored depending on the wind speed. So I'm going to click OK, and there it is. Now I showed you how to go ahead and bring in XY data, but a couple of things to be wary of is, number one, that you want to make sure that if you're going to plot latitude and longitude, that your longitude is negative so that it puts it in the right hemisphere. And that number two, that you have to be concerned about the coordinate system, that it is not in meters, but it is actually going to allow you to plot it in latitude and longitude. So that concludes our video here on how to bring in XY data.